Hi, everybody. How we doing? Everybody enjoying their dinner? I can't hear you. Is that a yes? Woo! All right, let's get going here. Many of you who are here tonight were friends with Jason and were devastated to learn of his sudden death in May of 2011 while running the Fifth Third Riverbank Run. Always the athlete, Jason was the picture of health and fitness, and there was never a reason to believe that he wasn't going to be with us for many more years. Unfortunately, an unknown heart condition took him from his wife, Christy, their three beautiful children, and numerous friends and family members. But out of every tragedy comes the need to find purpose and meaning. And that's where the idea for the Jason Kinzler Family First Foundation was forged. It's a foundation based in love, honoring a memory, and giving other grieving families the chance to focus on what's important during a very difficult time. Here to tell us why the mission of the Family First Foundation inspires her is the oldest of the Kinzler children. Please welcome Hannah.
I am honored and privileged to stand here before you tonight and introduce a confident, caring woman who has overcome adversity and provides me hope and inspiration every day. She has a strong passion for assisting others, especially at their time of need. She will go above and beyond to lend a hand to others, whether that be a family member, a friend, the students she counsels at school, or even a complete stranger. She sees the best in others and has a kindness about her that provides comfort and understanding to those around her. So many people say this is a quality that my dad admired about her. She is resilient, thoughtful, compassionate, and knows that each person's situation is different yet personal to them. Over the past 6 years, she has led our family through some difficult times, always focusing on family first. Her vision has taken something so devastating and turned it into something so powerful and lasting. She has shown my brothers and I how to face adversity head on, how to be strong, how to inspire others with your actions, and to always smile and see hope. She has taught us that family is forever. This amazing woman has inspired others to see a long-term vision, follow her through uncharted territory, and in the end, created a sustainable legacy that I personally hope to lead someday. I am honored to introduce to you my mom, the Executive Director of the Jason Kinzler Family First Foundation, Christy Kinzler.
Thank you, Hannah Kay. Welcome, and thank you so much for being with us tonight. Everybody dreams about meeting that special someone, and as a young, kind of naive 18-year-old girl from Michigan's Upper Peninsula, I was no different when I arrived at Grand Valley State University in the fall of 1992. So when I spotted that tall, handsome, ocean blue-eyed guy across the cafeteria, 2 weeks into our freshman year, I knew he was the one. His name is Jason Kinzler. We had as close to a fairy tale love story as they come, truly. We dated all through college and married not long afterwards. We were so excited to start a family of our own, and by our 7th wedding anniversary, our family was complete, with Hannah, Jake, and Josh. Life is never perfect, but we had all that we had ever dreamt about. A life full of love, happiness. It's truly great. Fast forward to May 14th, 2011. It was a crisp, cool spring morning. 3 kids, 3 different directions, and Jason was running the Fifth Third Riverbank Run, 25K, that morning in hopes of beating his time from the year before. I had just arrived home with Jake from a soccer game. We had like 15, 20 minutes to quick get him changed and head to the baseball field where we were supposed to meet his dad. and then my phone rang. That's the moment that will forever be entrenched in my mind. There's no time to gradually absorb the reality that life as we knew it up until that moment would never be the same. A life that we loved, a life that we thanked God for every day, a life with a man that I was so honored to call my husband. Jason had a heart attack that Saturday morning, just 1 mile from the finish line. Rescue workers attempted to save him, but were unable to. I cannot put into words what it was like holding his hand, knowing that it would be the last time, and not wanting to let go, knowing it would be the last time. Walking out of the hospital that day, and looking at the world continuing to go by as though life was normal when I knew that ours would never, ever be the same. And then trying to find the courage and the words as to how I was going to go home and tell our 3 precious babies that their dad was not coming home. A sudden and unexpected death shatters the world as we know it, and it's at times like this where we realize that bad things sometimes happen to really good people. Desmond Tutu once said, "Hope is being able to see light despite all of the darkness." And there was a lot of darkness during that time. 4 months from that day, I took a full-time counseling position at Godwin Heights Middle School. Ironically, on my first day of work, the principal asked me to speak with a 6th grade class about a tragedy that had happened over the weekend. One of their classmates' father had passed away of a heart attack. As I learned more about the family's needs, it was brought to my attention that they did not have life or health insurance, which limited their ability to pay for the multiple bills that were piling up. This family no longer had their primary source of income coming in. And as the school counselor, I took it upon myself to look for community resources that would possibly be able to help this family. Unfortunately, what I discovered that there was not any specific financial resources for this family. Around the same time, a group of Jason's closest friends and coworkers from Mercantile Bank approached me and shared with me that they wanted to form a team and run in the following year's Riverbank Run in honor of Jason. Their idea was to run and to raise funds for our family and to set up an education fund for my children. This was so incredibly humbling and kind, but we were going to be okay. And I had just witnessed firsthand that there were other families in our community who may not have the same resources available to them that we had. I shared with the group that I loved their idea. I loved the idea of them forming a running team in Jason's honor, but my idea of my husband's legacy was a little bit different. It ran much deeper, and I shared with the group that I wanted to consider them taking the idea in another direction. I shared with them my first day of school experience and how I'd gotten to know this wonderful family who was in need of resources so they could focus on one another and just grieve and not have to worry about how they were going to pay the bills. There was definitely a need in our community for families who unexpectedly lose a parent or a primary caregiver. Then I talked to them about wanting to start a foundation in my husband's honor that would help families who experienced what we did on May 14th, 2011. I knew that there were families in our very own community that did not have the same support that we were so fortunate to have. They listened to my ideas, my vision, and I recall there were tears, even though I'm pretty sure the guys in this room that were there would not admit to that today. And from that moment forward, they were all in, and that is how the Jason Kinzler Family First Foundation was born. As many of you know, this is our 5th year as a foundation, and I couldn't be more proud of the impact that we have collectively made within the West Michigan community. With your support, we have assisted over 60 families and given out roughly over $225,000 in financial support during a very critical time in a journey that none of these families have chosen. Many of these same families have committed to continuing the support to others and returning it through volunteering their time with our organization, creating awareness, joining Team Kinzler to walk or run in the Fifth Third Riverbank Run, vowing to raise money that will help us to continue to carry out our mission. Many people have asked me over the last few years, what has given me hope and inspiration to continue after such a tragic loss? My kids provide me with hope and inspiration every single day. Just look at them. They had to grow up fast in a world where they had to learn at a very young age that life is not always fair, but not to let circumstances define who they are. They are three of the kindest, most compassionate kids you are ever going to meet, and they all exhibit qualities that remind me of their dad, each in their own unique and special way. Hannah and Jake are running the 25K this year, vowing to finish that race for their dad, honoring him, while raising money for the foundation so we can continue to keep assisting more families. That inspires me. And the beautiful families that this foundation has helped over the years, who, after their own tragic experience, are turning around and paying it forward to help others in need. That is what inspires me, and that is what feeds my soul. So, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight, for listening to our story, and for all of the continued support and encouragement as we carry out the mission of the Jason Kinzler Family First Foundation. Family is what this beautiful foundation represents, and I am so proud to be sharing that with all of you here tonight. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Andrea Murdoch. I have 3 children. Jordan is my oldest, and he's 23. Jake is my middle, and he's 19. Jenna is my baby, and she's 15. We met in 1990. We were engaged in 1991. He took me out to Grand Haven, and we were engaged on the beach. And we're married for 23 years. David was a huge Michigan State fan. He loved muscle cars, had a 65 GTO for years. A very attentive husband who really tried to, and father who tried to provide for us. He was always wanting to help others and do for others. He sacrificed himself a lot for that. Tuesday morning, June 14th, David rolled over to shut his alarm off at 6:30, just like any other day. About 10 minutes later, I heard him really struggling to breathe. I thought he was actually having a bad dream or something, I wasn't sure. So I turned him over and tried to wake him and realized that he was unresponsive. Ran down to get Jordan and in the meantime called 911. And by the time we got back upstairs, Jordan helped me bring him to the ground, and we started CPR because he had stopped breathing at that point. So we did CPR until the EMS came, and of course they took over, just realizing, I guess by the looks on the on the emergency folks' faces, that it wasn't good. Took him in the ambulance, and he was at the hospital for 5 days. On the 19th, on Father's Day, he passed away. It was so sudden for us. We could not have thought for 1 second that was going to happen to us, that we would lose David. And I think that happens more often than we know. Amy Martins is a good friend of mine, and a couple weeks after David passed away, she called me and said that she had been at the Kinzler Foundation dinner, so she applied for us. Amy introduced me to Ray, gave me a very good impression of the foundation and what it is all about. In the midst of everything you're going through emotionally, to worry about finances is really hard too. The Kinzler Foundation was able to help us pay for 3 months of our health insurance. There's all the dynamics of dealing with that. And to think about also dealing with financial strife is very hard. So this meant so much to us to be able to keep our health insurance very easily. So to anyone watching this, if you're considering giving to a foundation, I would really highly consider the Jason Kinzler Family First Foundation. Just again, to take that pressure off of a financial burden when you're trying to deal with so much emotional. Ray and I met for coffee, and I just wanted to know how could I give back, because it had been such a tremendous help for our family. And he had mentioned, of course, the dinner, but then also the race, the Fifth Third Rubicon race. We are going to be involved in that this year. 2 kids specifically that are cross-country runners, so they'll probably do the running. Something that David and I had always talked about too is, because he was a runner as well, and training for a 5K that I'd like to do myself too, just to say that I did it and in his memory. And so that's how I feel like I want to give back as well. If I can help anybody that has been through a situation similar, or then I want to be there.
All right. Some emotional stuff there, folks. As Christy mentioned, the Family First Foundation is made up of board members who are responsible for making sure every family that reaches out gets financial support. And that means calling the family, meeting with them, and talking about what they need to get through the next few months so that they can put their family first, from funeral expenses and roof repairs to help with car payments, rent, or utilities. The list is endless. Now, here to give you an insight into how those needs are met is Family First board member, friend, and Jason's former teammate, Seth Yon.
Good evening. I've asked for 4 straight years if I could go before Christy and Hannah, because if I don't, I'm in tears and sucking my thumb prior to coming up here. For the last 4 years, our board's asked that I come up and address where we've been and where we're headed. As I reflect on the past fundraising experiences we've had, especially the last 3 dinners, I realize that my speeches have been missing something rather significant: the board. The Jason Kinzler Family First Foundation excuse me, is a remarkable group working towards the greater good. As I call the names of these individuals, I ask that you stand just for a moment. Christy Kinzler, Lauren Davis, Chad Springer, Ray Dimestra, Keith O'Brien, Jim Ayers, Val Lego, and I'd also like Linda Shipman to stand. Over the course of my life, I've been part of many groups and teams, but I've never experienced a group like ours. We have a board comprised of passionate individuals with energy and determination to carry out the mission. I envision Jason Kinzler looking down on us right now with a smile and a sense of pride in the group that's all gathered here tonight. He's certainly proud of Christy, her strength, courage, and vision, the amazing kids in Hannah, Jake, and Josh, and how they desire to carry the legacy of him and his compassion and kindness forward. Out of his story grew a foundation which supports families in West Michigan during their most unexpected and challenging crossroad in life. And his story and good work cannot be carried out without the time and commitment of these amazing individuals. Every one of them had a personal connection to Jason. However, we really didn't know one another. Now we're the closest of friends and have created a bond that will last a lifetime. I know Jason would be extremely proud of the work that we carry out every day in his name. I'd like to thank all of you for the friendship, time, energy, and allowing me to be part of this special group. So thank you. Over the last 5 years, we've had the ability to assist many West Michigan families. The Elliots, the Chase, Orojo, Humphrey, Castro, Erdley, Finch, Fisk, Hill, Kavanaugh, Martinez, Parker, Pugh, Salazar, Whitford, and the Yorks. These are only a few of the families that we've helped in the last couple of years. And much like all of us here tonight, they had plans and hope for a day and beyond. They had dreams of having dinner as a family and looked forward to life together the next day and every day going forward. But the unexpected loss of a loved one, a father, a mother, a husband, a wife, who suddenly passed shattered those dreams. The impact of such a loss has a devastating effect on children and the remaining caregiver. In the blink of an eye, expenses like insurance, mortgages, tuition, groceries, car repair become a much bigger obstacle, not to mention the unexpected expense of a funeral. Jason's planning allowed his wife and children to focus on each other instead of the financial burden and stress that comes with his passing, or came with his passing. It's because of that planning that Christy has the ability to draw her attention to help others that had a similar scenario to her. He's not only provided for his family, but through him, he's been able to provide for more than 60 families in West Michigan. To date, we've given out nearly $250,000 to families who have suddenly and unexpectedly lost a caregiver. 2016 proved to be our largest year yet, with the number of families we assisted and the total amount distributed. In fact, we gave out more money in 2016 than we brought in. Although the awareness of the foundation has grown, the need for assistance continues to grow. It's a need that will never end. There is no cure. The importance of the foundation is critical to the health and well-being of the family unit, something that was so important to Jason. This year's dinner is vital to the overall success of our foundation, and it comes at a great time. If you attended last year, you might remember the video that was shared about the Finch family. Sarah Finch has returned this year to share her personal story of what life has been like over the past year and what she's doing to pay it forward by assisting our foundation. Please join me in welcoming Sarah Finch to the stage.
Thank you and good evening. 18 months ago, my family's direction made a sudden detour, filled with many challenges, hope, and even joy. For those of you who are unfamiliar with our journey, our world was turned upside down on the morning of August 3rd, 2015. My best friend, father of my children, Isabella, 7 at the time, Charlie, 5, and Annie, 3, ended much too soon on a head-on collision on his way to work. One can never fully understand the impact of life or loss until you yourself are in the midst of it all. All the questions, the decisions you are forced to make at the drop of a hat, and you never even thought yet prepared yourself for. As the initial shock and awe set in and takes hold, we tend to fly on autopilot to get through the hustle and bustle of the goodbyes, preparing for the new journey ahead that has no roadmap, no how-to manual, and many unexpected hurdles to navigate. Then life seems to stop, yet moves at warp speed. And if you're lucky, we have a network of friends, families, and even strangers like Ray. come forward to help gather the shattered pieces of then life and begin gluing them back together. Thoughts of how am I going to manage the household finances while trying to pick up the pieces, care for three kids who are going through their own grief, looking at me as to how are we going to get through this, yet trying to get through my own grief at the same time. Until this point in my life, I had never heard of the foundation or even what they were about. A longtime friend of mine, Tabitha, works for Mercantile, works with Ray, told me to apply. There was a hesitance at first. It's that time when you have to put your pride aside and go ahead and take the assistance. We often have those little voices in our heads that make us think we look weak if we ask for the assistance. But it was the time that I realized that self-care was no longer a luxury, but a necessary thing. I can't express how fortunate and grateful I am for the assistance. By connecting with the Family First Foundation, I have become involved in the community of widows and widowers, helping others who wear our shoes, who may have just started their journey or at other parts of their journey. We worked with Ellie's Place for the kiddos, which is a wonderful program set up for kids who have lost an adult parent or a sibling in life's unexpected journey as well. While losing Charlie was and is devastating to those who loved him and cared for him, he taught us all that life is meant to be experienced full with love, joy, and adventure. I hold his philosophy on life close and attempt to live it by his example. During his memorial service, one said that Charlie was a tourist of life, always looking for an adventure and enjoying his everyday. It was through his view on life that has brought a new and wonderful man and 3 kids into our chapter 2. Life after loss has not been easy. There's always going to be that what if? Is this going to work? How do we do this? Grief and acceptance does not have a prescribed timeline and sometimes feels like we're living in a glass house. It's like a wound that has healed, but then you start picking at it again. I never imagined that we'd have experienced such a great loss and did not anticipate being able to pick up the pieces and start over, but that's exactly what life is meant to be. People have been doing this for centuries, and even though at the time I felt like I was the only one. We never forget, and yes, we feel sorrow that we cannot just let us get stuck in the waiting room of grief. We have chosen to live life and honor who Charlie was and what he represented. Our loss has made me more resolved to love and forgive with the same intensity, to teach my children that life can throw us curveballs, but it's how we adapt to those with who we are and what we stand for. We are a stronger family unit. We also are more equipped to help and understand what others are going through their own detours in life. I do believe the manner in which we have contoured our life's journey would make Charlie proud. I don't think he's looking down on us being sad. I think that he's looking down seeing the grander plan. If anything, he was a gentle man who loved his family, friends, and life in general. I'm grateful for the love and support from those who have always been there and those who have newly entered my life. They have allowed me to be vulnerable and also encouraged me to fly again. To my widow sisters in the room, I would like to share that grief and joy can coexist. It does and it will happen. The waiting room is a comfortable place to be, but we all know the waiting room at the doctor's office, we can only sit there so long. Don't stay stuck in your chapter you're on, and know that they're all looking down and they're very proud of us. So Andrea, next year, we're running that 5K. Thank you.
Again, I've got to work on the order for next year. Thank you, Sarah. Over the last few years, I've made special mention of two young men and the incredible work that they've done to raise awareness and funds for our foundation year after year. They're two of our largest donors through their fundraising efforts. Max Springer, would you please stand on your chair? Where are you? Wave your hands, bud. Right there. All right, stick with me on this one. Since the age of 7, Max Springer, son of Chad Springer, one of our board members, has had the unbelievable drive to raise funds every single year for our foundation. What started out as his father's mission has now become his own. Max is one of our largest fundraisers at the age of 11. He's raised over $10,000 to date and continues to surpass any and all expectations. Thank you, Max, for your desire and devotion to our cause. Because of you, families are able to stay in their home or pay an added expense that a sudden death in a family creates. You're an impressive young man, and we admire your courage and tenacity to achieve so much. Thank you. Jake Kinzler, Jason and Christy's middle son, has personally devoted his time and efforts into this foundation as well. Jake's a straight-A student, plays football, wrestles, baseball, and travel baseball, and somehow, with that intense schedule, still finds time to raise funds. This year, as mentioned by his mom and also Brian Kelly, Jake is committed to running the full 25K as he's eligible as a 14-year-old. He's doing it to honor his father, finish a race that his dad started in 2011, all with the goal of raising awareness and $25,000 to go back out and support families. He's been training and plans to race with his sister Hannah as well. And I'll say to both of you, if you're able to accomplish that goal, first of all, I know you will in crossing the finish line, but if you raise the $25,000, your work will show up by supporting 5 to 7 families in 2017, 2018. Max is now 11, Jake 14, and I try to think back to my time as an 11-year-old and 14-year-old. If I made it to school with my lunch and my pants on right, I was having a big day. What they've accomplished at such a young age truly blows my mind. Please help me welcome Jake Kinzler to stage to introduce Chuck Martin, Miami of Ohio football coach. Jake.
Hi, my name is Jake Kinzler. First, I would like to clarify something that my sister, Hannah, said in her introduction. While she hopes to lead the foundation someday, I plan to lead it. Over the years, I've stood before you sharing stories that I have with my dad from when I was young. As I was preparing my comments for this year, I realized that my memories will never change. I wish more than anything that I had new stories to share with you about my dad. Well, many of you have memories with your dad as a teenager, hearing him say, "I'm proud of you," encouraging you when you're faced with difficult challenges, or just having him be there to listen. I will never have those moments. But I do know that he is always with me. He often reminds me that he is near me. The number 48 is one of the connections that my family continues to have with my dad. The number 48 is 48 was his favorite number and also the number he wore in his college football jersey at GVSU. Since his passing, 48 has often appeared as what my mom would call a God wink to remind us that he is close and watching over us. Let me share a story with you. Last year, my friend Carter and I wanted to bike to school. I decided to ride my dad's bike, and all day long, I was worried that it would get stolen, even though I locked it up with the code 3684. At the end of the day, I ran out to meet Carter. He had already removed my bike from the rack. He He said to me, "I can't believe I actually remembered your combination." I said, "Well, what is it?" He said, "It's 3648. I corrected him and tried it myself. The old combination of 3684 didn't work any longer, but the 3648 did. I know that I have shared with you over the years that my dad and I attended many Detroit Lions games together, and I'm sure that you all remember the one win. While I am still a huge fan and attend many games, they are not the same without my dad. However, the first game that I attended after he passed away was against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was very hard to go without him, but I knew that he was there. Not only did the Lions win, but the final score was 48-3. Another way that I feel connected to my dad is through a song we always used to listen to. This song is called Born Free by Kid Rock. Many of you have probably heard this song before. To me, this song is a message from my dad that I will hold near to my heart for the rest of my life. I remember the day that this album was available for purchase. We went to Best Buy together to get it. When we put it into the CD player, Born Free was the first song that played. Through that song, his message to me is this: While I will have rough roads ahead of me that will cause me to fear the unknown, I shouldn't cry. I should chase my dreams, face all of my fears, and there I will see my heart. While I feel lost without him, I know that he would not want me to focus on our short time together, but instead live life without regret, knowing that we will be together again someday. By now you've probably heard that Hannah and I are running the Fifth Third Riverbank Run 25K on May 13th in honor of our dad. Not long after my dad passed away, I told my mom that I wanted to run the 25K someday in my dad's size 12 shoes. Well, right now I'm only a size 9, so when training started, my mom told me that she didn't want me to run in his shoes because it wasn't safe. So we made a compromise. On the day of the race, I'm going to wear my own shoes until mile 14. Mile 14 is where my dad passed away. And then I'm going to put my dad's shoes on and finish the last mile and a half in his shoes. For him. Many of us know the characteristics of a good coach. They are strong yet compassionate leaders. They push those around them to achieve more than they think is possible, and they never give up on others. Over the years, many of my dad's former teammates have said that my dad demonstrated those traits. I'm excited to introduce you to a man who exemplifies these traits. He's currently the head coach at Miami University and was previously the offensive coordinator at the University of Notre Dame. He was the head coach at Grand Valley State University from 2004 to 2009, compiling a record of 74-7. His Grand Valley State Lakers won consecutive NCAA Division II National Football Championships in 2005 and 2006, and were runners-up in 2009. I'm honored to introduce you to Chuck Martin.
Your speech is really good, Jake. You have to make a major tweak, though, next year. Remember when you introduced yourself? You said, "I'm Jake Kinzler, and I'm a badass." I knew this was going to be tough. I knew it was going to be really tough when Yoch got the call, said they would like you to come speak at this thing. And I didn't really know what it was about, and Yoch started explaining it to me because he's buddies with Max and Max's dad, and he's got about 10 seconds in. I said, "Yeah, man, I shouldn't be in, but I'm in. It's an easy one, but it's going to stink. It's going to be wonderful, but it's going to stink for me. It's not a night you need a keynote speaker. I'm a football coach. All right? So I do. Coach football. I'm in the entertainment business, thank God. The entertainment business in the United States of America is a great business to be in part of. All right? I love what I do. All right? I love football. I love sports. I love that I can support my family doing something that I love. I have tons of friends that don't love what they do. I was an accountant 25 years ago. I didn't love what I did. All right? I get to be around young men every day. All right? There's young men in this audience, they're not young anymore, unfortunately, that I coached. All right? And they're not young at all, which makes me realize I'm not young at all. And because of their effort and their courageousness and how hard they played and how hard they competed and their genetics and how they were raised at home, me and my family have had an incredible, wonderful life. I'm a husband, I'm a father of two. We have the same struggles every other family has. We have our good days, we have our bad days. We have days that we're proud of what we do, we have days we're not as proud of what we do, all right? And then you come here tonight, I'm speaking. And I'm gonna add to the evening. I'm gonna go talk about what? Miami football, when I was at Grand Valley, how smart I am, how lucky I am. Kinzler family, amazing, amazing, amazing. I thank you. Kind of soft, as you can tell. I thank you for allowing me to be part of this. I knew it was going to be awesome. There's very few times in your life that you're part of something that's really powerful. The people on the board of the Kinzler Foundation, I thank you for all you've already done for so many families. Right? We got 2 parents and 2 kids in my house, and it's a struggle. All right? 2 kids, 2 parents. Should be a pretty even match, right? And we work hard at it. We really do. And it's, you know, and then to think for me about not having my wife there, or even think how it'd be for her if I wasn't there. And then you take this and you turn into this evening, and you've already helped already so many of these families. And I see your kids, and your kids inspire me, and I'm 49, and I'm a coach, and I'm a mentor, and I'm supposed to be doing that to kids. And you guys are talking, and I want to be better. I want to take the garbage out Friday morning now. Because that's what you start to do. You start to think about, you talk about, well, I'm humbled. It's easy to say I'm humbled, right? No, but you start to think about how you could be better. Even though you're proud of things, you just think about, I should have done this, I should have done this, you know? And obviously, Jason, I didn't know Jason. I met Jason, but I didn't know him. You know, obviously, when you said he'll always be with you guys, talking to the kids, no, he's in you guys. He's not looking down from above. You are him. You don't have to worry about that. That's your DNA. That's why you are who you are. All right. Crazy appreciative to be here. It's an awesome evening to be a part of. It's a powerful evening to be a part of. It makes you think about a lot of things. I think I'll have a pretty good day tomorrow. You know, I'd like to think I could have a good day 365 days a year, but we wake up in the morning and you think about what you want to have happen. And that's just human nature, and that's not wrong. I don't feel guilty that I wake up in the morning, I think about what I want for breakfast. I don't necessarily think of what maybe somebody else wants today. But tonight is about humility, tonight is about giving, tonight is about family, which are all things near and dear to me and my family, all right? And tonight's about inspiration. It's hard to be inspired anymore. We're so busy. We're so busy. And so many people that are put out in front of us, it becomes all about them. And it's not all that inspiring all the time. It's fun, we love them, we root for them, I still do. You know, I still have my favorite, I'm still a fan. But most of the people we see on TV, you see the selfishness, and you see the complaining, and you see the finger pointing, and gets trapped in our brain, and it filters through our society. And then you get to be part of this, and it's just the opposite. It's everything good about the world. And I think of Grand Valley, and I thank you because you brought me back tonight and my 10 wonderful years at Grand Valley, and all the people, not the wins. The wins were fantasy. It was ridiculous, right? You shouldn't be that fortunate to have the success we had. It was ridiculous. But the people weren't ridiculous. The people are real. Some of them are here tonight, but just the fact that you're Grand Valley people, it makes a lot of sense. Because Grand Valley is one of the most special places on the planet, and it's because of the people. And then I think of West Michigan. Me and my wife are from Chicago. Early in our marriage years, it was, when are you going to move us back to Chicago? Any of you have a wife that you've ever moved away from where she's from? May have had similar one-sided conversations, you know? And then we kind of bounce around because I'm a coach, and that's what coaches do. We bounce around, and we end up at Grand Valley. We ended up living in Allendale, Michigan, and West Michigan. And then we were here for a decade. And two things. One, we kept telling, wherever we move next, it's not going to be like West Michigan. Like, this is as good as it gets as far as quality of life. And thank you for bringing me back here, because why could this foundation be so good? Could it be so good someplace else? Maybe. I think part of the reason this foundation is so good is because this foundation there's West Michigan people behind it. All right? And the last piece is tonight's about giving. All right? And it's hard because we're busy, and we all, some of us have more than others, and some of us are more fortunate than others. But I ask you to do two things tonight as far as giving. Don't give with your head tonight. Just give with your heart. So when you're going to write a number down, don't think about it. All right? Don't think about where else the money could go or should go or where you want it to go. Think about it with your heart and write down whatever your heart tells you to write down, and we'll have another incredible night just like the 4 years previously, and we'll raise more money tonight than we've ever raised, and we'll help more families tonight than we've ever helped. All right? And I always ask my kids, because we do tons and tons of stuff to put kids in situations to experience helping other people, because that's the most wonderful feeling in the world. And I always tell my team, don't ask yourself why, because sometimes you can't find a reason why to do something. And that's what kids do. Well, why would I do that? Why would I go help at the pancake breakfast? And I always tell my kids, don't ask why, ask you why not, because it's just as hard to find a reason why not to do it. All right? Tonight it's easy to find a reason why, and it's really hard to find a reason to why not. All right? So one, be crazy generous and give from your heart tonight. All right? Two, and the first thing I thought about when all these wonderful people are up here talking was the challenge for the next 365 days till we have the next Kinzler dinner, and we hear the next wonderful stories of all the people they've helped, and the family's a year older and they're still badasses. Let's try to be more like this foundation, all right? So I'm not just asking for money tonight, I'm asking for all of us. That's Grand Valley, that's West Michigan, we already do it, but let's do it even better next year. Let's help more people next year. Let's treat people better next year. Let's try to inspire people next year. Let's try to find the good in people next year. All right? All the things that we heard about the Kinzler family. My mom always finds the good in everyone. It's so easy to find the bad in people because we have bad. We all have bad. It's easy to see it. How can we find the good in people? How can we help people that need the help? The wonderful people like the Kinzlers, they don't need your help. They got to figure it out. All right? But there's a lot of other people that aren't as giving and they don't care as much. Find a way to get them to help. Find a way to get them to care. And it takes time and it takes energy and it takes effort, but we're all capable. So not only give with your purse strings tonight, but let's give it for this year and have an incredible year of doing what this foundation does, and that's be completely unselfish and spend all their time helping other people, and we'll make the world a little bit better place this year. Thank you so much for asking me to be here. I really appreciate it.
All right, folks. Coach Martin, thank you very much. We appreciate your words this evening. I do want to remind you that when you make your generous donations, you have an envelope that was put in your programs. If you would take that once you've filled it out and load it up with cash, You can stick it in a white envelope. There's a big white envelope underneath those delicious cookies. So make sure you get your little envelope with a lot of money and the bigger envelope underneath the cookies. All right? Also, Seth, we want to say former players, any Grand Valley players, we want to get a big picture of all of you, so if you could stick around a few minutes before you take off and get a photo. Thank you all for coming tonight to the Kinzler family event and for your donations that will help continue the work of Christy and the board members so that Jason's memory can continue to live on through the lives of the families who need them the most during their support during the time of grief. All the best, and we'll see you next year. Thank you for coming.